and basically what I do in a day to help myself. Also, I have a new setup. I have a tripod and I've got a light which you'll probably see like in a reflection of my glasses. So I'm gonna have to like try take that away. That's one thing about glasses, like the light will reflect off of my glasses. Try and change the setting of the light. See which one I like best. Ooh, quite like that one. But I might sit a bit further back, to be honest. And why the hell did my fan just go off? Because in the UK it's quite warm. But yeah, so it just feels really weird like having like a tripod and like a light at the same time. Like the reflection in my glasses is just like, what the hell. I hope it doesn't bother you like guys too much, but if it does, do let me know. So I have Hashimotos. I was diagnosed last year. Took me about a year to get diagnosed with it after having symptoms for quite a while. But I just thought were normal, but turns out they weren't normal. And it was actually one of my favourite doctors, who is now unfortunately leaving my surgery, but actually done the tests for my thyroid, and I'd actually got diagnosed. But at the time it was suspected Hashimotos until I actually went in and asked at my doctors, do I have Hashimotos? And they looked on my records and yep, it was. And it was never actually directly told to my face. So yeah, that was quite annoying, and understandably so. Most of the symptoms I struggle with is fatigue, mood swings, my periods, brain fog, and I do sometimes get palpitation, but most of all sweating. Let me explain to you a little bit like what the thyroid is and what it does. Also, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. If you do think you have a thyroid problem such as Hashimotos or even Graves' disease, which is another autoimmune thyroid disease, because I'm pretty sure you can have both Hashimotos and Graves, not 100% sure, but please consult your doctor. I am not a doctor. This is just my experience, my symptoms, and how I deal with it, basically. But yeah, so Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease where your immune system is in your gut, and my immune system basically thinks my thyroid is a threat and mistakenly uses the white blood cells to attack and damage my thyroid. And your thyroid is a butterfly shaped gland in your neck that sits around here, and here I have a goiter, which is also very common with Hashimoto's. It's basically inflammation of the front of the neck, and Hashimoto's is basically inflammation of the thyroid. But you see, the thyroid regulates hormones across your body, and your hormones are very, very important. And when the thyroid goes wacky-backy, it can either go into hypothyroidism, which is mainly what Hashimoto's does, or it can go into hyperthyroidism, which is what Graves' disease does. Mine tends to do both and then go back to normal. But I do not have a diagnosis of Graves'. It was my TPO, my thyroid peroxidase antibodies, that were really high, and I've got positive TSI, which is the diagnosis of Graves', but I've never actually been told that, so yeah. And your thyroid basically affects the whole lot of your body. It can affect your brain, your heart, your periods, your joints, your muscles, your mental health, and your iron. It can cause you to be anemic, which I also have. It basically controls pretty much everything, and it is debilitating, but you can manage it. I am currently not on any medication because my thyroid levels are stable. So my TSH, my 3T4 and all that are normal, but I am going to book a doctor's appointment on Monday to get it checked again because I'm maybe starting a new job, hopefully, fingers crossed, soon. So I want to get that checked out and have it stable before I go into it. But yeah, another important thing to know is that just because your T3, your T4 and all those levels are normal does not mean you feel okay, because Hashimoto's is a chronic autoimmune illness, and those of you who do have autoimmune diseases like me, you are most likely, your chance of developing another autoimmune disease increases. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it increases. And what I've did some research comes along with Hashimoto's is rheumatoid arthritis, and it does run in my family because my nana had it. But again, this does not mean this will happen to you, okay? And like I've said nearing the beginning of this video, if you have any concerns about your thyroid or your health in general, please do consult your doctor, your GP or your consultant and get it looked into, because like I said, I'm not a doctor, this is just me and my story, or not my story, but like how I deal with it. So for those who are newly diagnosed with Hashimoto's or think they have Hashimoto's, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days where you feel absolutely drained and absolutely gobshite, where you're low in energy. And it is, I would still say, when you're feeling low in energy, it's still important to keep going, like even the small things, like little activities like going for a walk, or it doesn't even have to be a long walk, it could just be like a 5-10 minute walk, and that way at least you got your body moving. And I completely get that it can feel overwhelming, or you feel like you don't want to because your body's aching, like the joint pain, the achiness, you just don't want to get out of bed. I completely feel you, I completely understand that. It sucks, it generally does suck, and if you're not on medication like myself to manage it, it sucks even harder because you like have to push through it. But also, oh, excuse me, good thing I made like a cup of tea before I started filming. Another thing to notice is that, oh my god, what was I going to say? This is where the brain fog comes in. I knew what I was about to say and I've completely literally forgotten it. This is where the brain fog comes in. I also don't know what happened to that there. No idea. But anyways, yeah. Hashimoto's is debilitating, and you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And I encourage you, I encourage you to even do the slightest movement on your bad days when you have really shit energy, or low energy should I say. I'm quite point mouth. Because at least you're getting your body moving. It's better than nothing, but also don't push yourself too hard. You know your body better than anyone. Like if you really feel like you're really sluggish and really tired, take a nap, have a sleep. And that's another thing with Hashimoto's, like no matter how much sleep you get, the fatigue is there, as it's a chronic illness. Like you're still going to experience symptoms, and like no matter how much sleep you get, the fatigue is always going to be there. But some days it's going to be, I can promise you this now, that it's going to be better days ahead of you where you've got more energy, you've got more motivation, you've got more fight in you, you've got a better version of yourself basically. Because this disease does take a lot from you, and you do generally feel like you've lost yourself, and that's with all chronic illnesses, you lose yourself a little bit, but then on the days you've got more energy, you fight back. But make sure on the days you have little energy, you try to get get some movement in you, even if it's just a little. But also do not push yourself too hard, because you will, if you push yourself too hard, you will burn out more and it will make you more exhausted. So please, please, please know your limits with your body and what your body can handle and what your body can do. You know your body better than anyone else. Even if it means you have to cut down work for a little bit, that's completely okay. Do what makes you feel good, and take it as slow and fast as you need. Another thing is, it's unpredictable. You can never predict how you're going to feel the next day, and it bloody sucks. Let me tell you, it is the most annoying thing. And I think that's with any chronic illness, really. Like, you can never foreshadow if you're going to be in pain the next day, and I think that's the most annoying part about it, because I'm pretty sure everyone with a chronic illness wants to know how they're going to feel the next day so they can prepare. Like, and so they can know what they're going to be able to do the next day. That's why planning with a chronic illness is so hard. Like, I've had to cancel meeting people, like meet my friends, because I've just had no energy or motivation. I've just felt really down in general because of my illness. But it doesn't define who you are, not one bit. I mean, we may be chronically ill, chronic ill vibes, but you're stronger, and there are good days and you're gonna have bad days, but we'll try to make the most of it. And it does generally suck, but something I started saying to myself recently is that it could be worse. Like, I could have a much worse condition than what I have right now, which I know sounds really weird, but there are people who generally do have it worse than me, so I feel like I'm very grateful. But at the same time, I don't want to compare myself to others, because I have a chronic illness, and everyone who has a chronic illness might not have the same one as me, and everyone is different. So yeah, I'll try not to, I've got hair in my mouth, to compare myself to others. But also at the same time, I generally feel really lucky, and I'm very grateful, to be honest. If that makes sense. That probably sounds really, really weird. But yeah. And also, if you're going to try to get tested for hashimotos or Graves', make sure they do your TPO, your thyroid peroxidase antibodies, and your TSI, your thyroid stimulating immunoglobulins, that you both will tell you which one you have, and you can have both. I'm going to actually do a Google of this, but if you can have both Hashimoto's and Graves'. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Can you have both Hashimoto's and Graves' disease? Yes, it is possible to have both Hashimoto's and Graves' disease simultaneously. While they have the opposite effects on the thyroid, both are autoimmune disorders that coexist, overlap, or transition from one to the other as your immune system attacks the thyroid. Why it happens: both conditions are driven by similar immune system malfunctions such as T-cell mediated autoimmunity, genetic predisposition. However, the specific antibodies produced are different. So yeah, Graves' disease involves stimulating antibodies, TSI or TRAB, and Hashimoto's is TPO, like blocking or destroying antibodies. So Graves' is hyper and Hashimoto's is hypo, so I was correct. And I will leave, like, and yes, I know my computer's like messed up. I'll try to leave a link in the description down below. But like I said again and again and again, I am not a doctor, I'm not a consultant. This is just my advice as someone who has the disease itself. Well, I'm not formally diagnosed with Graves', but I have positive TSI, which I've googled. Positive TSI can mean Graves', so yeah. But also another thing, doctors in endocrine, not all of them, obviously not all of them because I've had nice doctors, some of them will just say you're fine, but you know your body better than anyone else, so push, push, push and push, because you know your body better than anyone else. You know how you're feeling. And yeah, some doctors, just because the doctor's got a medical this is another thing. Just because the doctor has a medical degree does not mean they are always correct. This is another thing that I want you to get. Just because they have a medical degree doesn't mean they're always correct, and it sucks because we trust them. But like I said, not all doctors are bad. I do not have any hate towards any doctors, but there are good doctors out there and there are not so good doctors out there. So yeah, I would advocate for yourself, keep pushing until you get the right diagnosis, because you know your body better than anyone else. Also, I bought this cup from Typo the other day for like £1. It was on sale. But yeah. Also, I hope you're liking like the new setup. I feel like the lighting is so much better, so hopefully the quality of this video is much better. And yeah, I was gonna say about having a routine and like diets. Stress can also cause a flare-up, and dairy can as well. But I have gone dairy-free for like a while and I've still felt the same, but I might try it again at some point. But every protocol is different. Everyone's body is different, so it might not work for you. But yeah, I hope this video has helped. I will make another one to this about I might do I might do like, oh my flipping god. I might leave that in because that is funny. I might do, oh, for God's sake, I might do like film every day but not post every day, like film it and like make it till like one big vlog. Like I might do like 3 days and put it up as like day in life with Hashimotos, and then separate it like and put day 1, day 2, day 3, do a 3-day break and then do it again, and then hopefully that can help some people. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you in some way, and like I said, I'm not a doctor or a physician, so please consult your doctor if you feel like you have one of these diseases, or if you feel, yeah, if you just generally are concerned, go to your doctor. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, I hope this helped, and please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and please do let me know what videos you want to see because I'm stuck. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and take care. Also, I hope you like this new setup. I know I've said this before, but I feel like the lighting is so much better and the quality is so much better. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you next one. Bye guys.